guys so much, and y'all, I make fun of myself all the time. Okay, anyways. Hey guys, it's Brianna here, aka Beauty's Advocate. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be demoing the RevAir reverse hair dryer for the first time. If you've never seen this before, it's a pretty big contraption. Gosh, it's plugged into the wall, so I can't pull it too far. This is the base, which provides the suction, and this is the wand where you actually put your hair into, which sucks it. I'm just gonna like jump in and get this started. I did purchase a few accessories from RevAir as well. This hair towel turban, some microfiber. I believe this is microfiber. It's a microfiber hair towel. This spray bottle, which is kind of one of those continuous mist ones, which I've always wanted. I did purchase their right comb, and there's also a few other things that I purchased, but for the purposes of this video, I'll also demo out the plate straight to see how that works. They say that you can't use natural oils with this dryer, so yeah, I'm just gonna jump in. And if you guys want to see any like specific things that I'll talk about, what I'll end up doing is kind of like create a chapter in the description below so that you guys can jump around the video just to see what you want. All right, so without further ado, let's just jump right into this bad boy. I'm curious to see what it does. It does have 7 tension settings and 2 heat settings. I'm definitely going to use high heat. They recommend that you start off on a tension level of 2, but I think I'm going to start at like 4 or 5 because, you know, I have pretty coarse hair. So I'm just going to start sectioning my hair, putting the plate straight in there, and detangling before I actually go in with the dryer. Side note about like this towel is that like getting this class was actually pretty difficult. I did not like that about it, but I mean, whatever. My hair definitely feels way more damp than it would if I would have used a normal towel. Oh, it's still dripping. Okay, y'all. So the first thing that I noticed about this play it straight is that this is definitely like a balm consistency, I would say. So I'm not going to use a lot because this is very thick. I think I'm going to put a little more on my kitchen than I would anywhere else. Now, I've seen mixed reviews about it grabbing the little hairs, but also in a lot of those reviews, I didn't see them moving the nozzle around the root area, which is what it says to do. It does have like, I don't know if you can see this, but there are tiny little like holes all around, which are meant to grab the small hair, so okay. 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 Oh, wow. Yeah, that worked. Okay, I didn't think I would be like this shook because I've watched so many different YouTube videos on this, but like, I literally just held that thing up to my hair. Sorry, I'm trying to dry off my hands a little bit just so I can go in and make sure my scalp, it's dry. Now, it doesn't feel as soft as it normally does when I blow dry my hair. Maybe I'll put a little more of the play it straight on other sections to see if it, well, actually the ends do, and I did focus more of that on my ends, so I think what I'll do is just put more of the play it straight towards my roots too. Do y'all see like my comb is just gliding through, like that's it. Girl. And like what's crazy is my scalp felt cold. I was like, this feels a little cold. Like I really wasn't feeling any heat. Sorry, I just stuck my finger inside this thing even though I know you're not supposed to. And it's pretty hot in there, but I didn't feel, you can't feel any of that. And I actually think it did a pretty decent job back here on the kitchen. Like that stretched me. So I think for all of you ladies that are having a problem with the kitchen area, you just need to make sure you move the nozzle around. The direction says every 10 seconds you should hit, you know, a different part of the section, like cover a different part of the scalp of the section. Follow them directions, girl. I'm shook. I'm just gonna continue. Okay, y'all, so for this section, when I put that plate straight on my roots, I definitely felt more heat. It wasn't like too uncomfortable, but it just wasn't what I was expecting. It is a lot softer up there though, y'all, like a lot. Since I turned it down to low heat, you can kind of, yeah, I can tell the difference between the two sections. This one's definitely a little more poofier, but I don't mind it. I'm just gonna end up doing a braid out after this, so it's not really a big deal for me. So without further ado, I'm just gonna speed through this, finishing up the rest of my head, and then I'll come back and give, sorry, my nose is itchy. I was just like, that's a really ugly thing to do on camera. So sometimes when I'm recording these videos, y'all, I feel like I'm just like not self-aware. I'm just like in the zone, like looking in the mirror at myself, trying to do my hair, trying to do the dang thing, and yeah, like, girl, I need to get it together. So anyways, gonna finish the rest of my hair, and then I'll come back and give you all my final thoughts.
Okay, y'all, so I had a few slight technical difficulties while filming this, and my camera somehow refocused onto the mirror. So I'm only going to show you 2 more very short clips and then just get on to my final thoughts, so you're not just looking at blurry footage.
Okay, y'all, so this is one side done, one side not. Like, y'all, I'm honestly like surprised. Like, this is like a pretty good blowout. Like, if I use different products, I probably could have straightened my hair after this. So, pleasantly surprised. Okay, guys, so I just got finished revving my entire head, and I just wanted to give you guys some final thoughts and also give you a heads up on customer service. So essentially, I got through almost my entire head. I had 2 sections left up here, and then the dryer just randomly cut off, and I'm like, okay, what the heck? I'm using a 15-volt outlet, and that's what it said you needed, and it said, you know, plug it directly into the outlet. I genuinely couldn't figure out why it cut off. So basically I called RevAir, and they let me know that there's actually like some type of circuit failsafe within the system itself, and it's very common for it to cut off the first like 3 to 5 times that you use it. So she showed me where the button was, I clicked it, and it cut right back on. So that was awesome. I also appreciate the fact that it is past 8 p.m. here, and they're still online. You know, they're still helping us out. So that was like pretty cool. Another thing that I'll say about this dryer is that it is heavy. So when I was holding it up there, you'll see me at certain times like using 2 hands to try to maneuver it in a more comfortable position. It didn't hurt my actual arm. It was more so like my wrist. Like finding the right angle to hold it at was super important, because certain angles hurt more than other angles, and it's kind of bulky and awkward. So I think that part of it will definitely take time to get used to. Now, as far as drying time, I was actually like super surprised. So I was keeping it on all of the sections over here for 1.5 minutes, and I used, you know, a tension setting of 5 for most of this half of my head. And I don't know if you can tell, but the ends on this side where I use 6 and 7 most of the time versus this side where, you know, pretty much for this entire back half I use a 5. These ends are so much more straighter and more manageable. So I think, You know, 6 and 7 is going to be my sweet spot. Maybe where I have more heat damage, I'll dial it down to a 5. But the interesting part about it is I definitely needed a minute and a half on a tension level of 5, but when I switched over to 6 and 7, my hair was drying in about 45 to 60 seconds, which I thought was really cool. I just kept a timer on my phone and would pull it out a couple inches to feel the roots, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's dry already. So that's another thing that I'll say. I also feel like my roots got a lot more drier on this side than it did on this side. So yeah, I think, you know, tension setting 6 and 7 is kind of like the sweet spot. The other thing that I will say about that though is that I could actually feel it. So I looked at a lot of comments online. They're like, oh my gosh, like, sure, your hair is being sucked into this, but you can't feel it. No, I could feel it. It wasn't too uncomfortable. I'm very tender-headed, so although I look rough in some of my videos or I speed up the footage, I promise you I'm not because I'm pretty tender-headed. It wasn't painful, so I'll put that out there. The dryer didn't cause me any pain because it doesn't tug that hard, but I could definitely feel it on my scalp. Some people say like, yeah, I didn't feel anything at all. No, I could feel it. There were certain parts where using it on a high heat setting, it was uncomfortable, to be honest. It felt pretty hot, and I think it was just, you know, a combination of like tension level 7 with the heat that didn't really work out for me in every part of my head. So I was kind of having to play around with the heat settings and the tension. And I think, you know, I think what I really need to do is do slightly smaller sections next time. Because I did notice that when I used like a much smaller section, and even with the tension dialed up, I didn't have as much of a heat spike or just like that pulling feeling. Overall, like, I am super impressed with these results. Like, I've seen this online so many times, so I don't know why I was so surprised, but I think like actually doing it on yourself, you're like, holy crap, right? So I don't know, I really like it. I'm going to do a braid out next. I'll make that a separate video. Maybe I'll put my results at the end of this one. And thank you guys so much for watching. I totally appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you always know when I post.